In the deep quiet of the early hours, there's a promise we often make, a kind of silent contract with a future self. It's a declaration, whispered only to the darkness, that tomorrow is going to be different. Tomorrow, the cycle breaks.
But then the morning arrives, and it has its own gravity, doesn't it? The pole of comfort is a physical thing, and the easiest choice is almost always the one that requires no choice at all. And right there, in that one simple movement, lies the architecture for the entire day. To deny that impulse, well, it's not some grand victory. It's actually something much quieter. It's a small rebellion against the well-worn path of habit, the very first conscious act in a day that will be filled with unconscious ones.
This time, right here, before the sun, it belongs to no one else. It's a space that exists completely outside of obligation, outside of expectation. Before the world gets loud and messy and starts moving way too fast, there is only this stillness.
After hours of sleep, the body is searching, and the mind is still somewhere tethered to dreams, so the first conscious act can be the simplest one. A glass of water is a signal, a physical statement to the self that you are present and that you are in control. The body awakens, not with force, but with intention. A slow, gentle movement to get the blood flowing is an acknowledgement. It's a kind of conversation between the mind and the muscles, just reminding them that they belong to each other.
You know, it doesn't require some huge commitment. Just 5 minutes can be enough. 5 minutes of intentional movement as the natural light starts to confirm the decision you made. It's an external cue that affirms the internal shift, drawing a clear line between rest and energy.
There's a profound difference between just rushing through life and actually living it. To walk in silence without the constant feed of digital noise is to allow your own thoughts to finally surface, to simply exist in the world, instead of just consuming some curated version of it.
And in the quiet, you can begin to notice the space between your thoughts. You can observe the mind's relentless activity without getting swept away by it. It's the difference between being the storm and watching the storm from a safe distance.
So much of life is just lived on autopilot, reacting, scrolling, stressing. To take that chaotic internal monologue and translate it into the written word, that's how you impose order. It's an act of taking these abstract anxieties and making them concrete, and therefore manageable.
There's a real sanctity to learning in the quiet. To open a book before the world starts demanding your attention is to make a conscious choice to feed your mind. This isn't about productivity, not really. It's about deliberate growth in a space that's finally free from distraction. And of course, this same intention extends to the body. The choice of fuel becomes a choice of energy for all the hours to come. It's just a continuation of the morning's theme, a conscious decision to nourish rather than to simply consume. The day's demands, they don't disappear. The calendar is still full, but the perspective is shifted. It's no longer this overwhelming wave, but a series of deliberate actions to be met with focus, approached from a foundation of calm. It's so important to remember that this did not begin with ease, not at all. The first few days are a battle. The body resists, the brain is foggy, but this resistance, it isn't a sign of failure. It's the friction that proves a change is actually taking place. So a quiet victory has been won in the stillness. A piece of the day has been claimed. But as the sun rises higher, the world outside begins to stir, and the real challenge emerges. How do you carry this quiet intention into all the inevitable noise?